Good.
You been on vacay?
Had to go to a funeral. Yeah, my mom's brother passed away. She's 89. Kind of unexpected. Yeah, they do. I mean, my mom's definitely sick, so she don't want to travel by herself. Terrible. Yeah, thank you. Young lady, how are you? Okay, don't worry.
Oh, we're done.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. And at the start, just make sure your phones are on vibrate or silent so they don't interrupt the meeting. And we'll start by having an opening prayer and pledge of allegiance. So if you'll please rise and remove your hats for the prayer, please. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us all together tonight. We have a fine town that you provided for us. Let us remember that everything we have is yours, and we're just the stewards of that. Let us be the stewards that take good care of it in your name, and let us try to help each other as we progress our community forward in the future. Thank you for all you've given us. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice. Okay, so I do want to recognize Whitney Cantrell is here. She won the primary for county commissioner, and she'll be running in the near future. I'm not sure if she has an opponent. Do you have an opponent? Do you know? Do you? Okay, I wasn't sure how that was working. But I did want to recognize her here as a possible elected official. We'll move to public comment, and there's a 3-minute session where somebody can speak in regards to anything on the agenda, and no one has signed up for that tonight. So we'll move along to the adoption of the agenda and consent items. And so we can vote on this unless anybody has anything they want to move out and talk about on a separate issue as a standalone. So do I have a motion to adopt the consent?
Motion to approve.
Okay, a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? So that will carry to adoption. We will now move to appointments, recognitions, and presentations. And we're going to recognize our Law Enforcement Cadet Summer Camp Program graduates, and that would be Chief Dwayne Taylor and Deputy Chief Brim. I saw you. Are you up there? Yep. So they'll do the presentation for that.
The Mayor, Commissioners, on the week of July 27th through the 31st, the Law Enforcement Cadet Program, they held their summer camp. And today we'd like to recognize the individuals who completed that camp. And to do that, I will now hand everything over to Deputy Chief Brim and let him explain the camp, what went on, and the program itself.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Well, not last week, the week before we hosted our camp, and if you were involved with the camp. Can you stand up for me, please? So these were the ones that was able to participate in our camp. We had you guys can have a seat. Had a great time. We did a lot of different things. I think that the thing they hated the most was marching and staying in step with one another. But I told them that was an important part of team building and working as a team, and it kind of showed them how to work together so that everything flows. We did building clearing, we did arrest, search, and seizure, we did scenarios, we did a trip down to the candy store, walked around downtown. They enjoyed that. Yeah, but I think the marching got them the most because it was very hot those days. Some pictures here. And so the more they would complain, the longer we would stay out there. And then we'd come in, it's so hot. I'm like, all right, let's go back outside. But we really, I enjoyed it, and I hope they did too, and saw a lot of progress. This program is more than just teaching them about law enforcement. It's teaching them leadership skills, how to write a resume, how to dress for interviews, tie a tie, those kinds of things, and just being those, those positive role models for our younger generation. And hopefully, fingers crossed, one of these days I'll be able to hire them on and they can work here with us. So I appreciate you having us today. And there's one more thing I need to do. Chief?
Yeah. This is a certificate of appreciation. This is for Chief Taylor. This certificate is proudly presented to Chief Dwayne Taylor in sincere recognition and appreciation for your outstanding support of the Swansboro Police Cadet Program and for allowing the adoption of the program and providing officers the time to properly administer the program. Your leadership, commitment, and belief in tomorrow's leaders are making a lasting impact on our community. Thank you for investing in our youth and strengthening the future of law enforcement.
Guys, if you would, y'all stand up here. Come through and shake the commissioner's hands if you don't mind. Wagon wheel it. You guys have any questions?
Anybody have any questions or comments they'd like to make in relation to the presentation?
Hey, just a quick comment. I mean, Deputy Chief, the two of the words I heard this evening were life skills and tomorrow's leaders, and I think you're spot on. I mean, programs like this represent, that's what you're getting after, and I hope the people who participated felt like you got something out of it, and we appreciate it because it says a lot about you and it says a lot about what you feel about our community. So thank you.
Got a question. What are the ages?
So middle school, so as long as they're in the 6th grade, right up until their 21st birthday, or right before their 21st birthday.
You had a college
Yes.
participant, so it's good to see her come back after a year at the Citadel, still participating.
Yeah, unfortunately, she had to go back. She's not here, but she had participated, then left for the Citadel, and then came back for the camp just because she enjoyed it. So and that's Danny, and she's phenomenal. She's great.
So is this our third class that we've had, or?
Yes, sir. This is our 3rd class.
Third one? And so we had 6 graduates this time. Is that?
How many do we have? You guys stand up if you participate.
Yeah, the graduates, please stand up again. 7. So, yeah.
Plus one.
Yeah.
But, so let's give these guys a round of applause for doing that. and completing it. Y'all have a seat. But it's a great program, and thank you, Deputy Chief and Chief, for allowing this to happen in our town. I think it's just a good image for our town to have. It's a good program to give people something to do as they develop, their life. And hopefully they'll come and serve on our police force, like you said, in the future. I know somebody else may want to talk, but while I'm talking, I just want to give a shout out again to Brooke and to Josh, because after one of our recent festivals, they were going around downtown and they got a shout out on social media about going above and beyond and helping one of the shop owners take care of their trash problem that they had along the side of the building. And that's what we're looking for, that it doesn't cost anything to be kind and friendly and helpful, and that's just what we want. So thank you so much for that. Anybody else have anything else they would like to comment? Okay. All right. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Sure. Go right ahead. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that, Josh. He didn't have his gun out at you, did he? Okay, so Chief Randall is chomping at the bit here. So
No, you're fine.
So have at it, Chief.
Mayor, Commissioners, citizens, thank you all. When we took part in the CIPSE, or the Center of Public Safety Excellence Community Risk Assessment Program, we vowed to be transparent with our data, open with our performance. This is our mid-year review, just to kind of let y'all know where we are compared to 2025 when it comes to response, turnout times, and other performance objectives. So just kind of where we are today, we're a little bit down on incidents within the town, incidents in general. Town, we've gone up one incident in the county jurisdiction, responded to a little less automatic aid just based on other departments' incident responses, and our total responses thus far up to July 1st is 711, comparative to the 760 from last year. Out of those, this is the breakdown. Fire incidents being anything from a trash fire, outside fire, or structure. Medical being any time that you've called for EMS. Rescue being water incidents, motor vehicle collisions, elevators stuck. Something that takes a technical rescue assistance. Public service is a citizen request or a false alarm activation, going and checking something out. Hazardous situation might be a fuel spill or an odor of something. Law enforcement's when obviously law enforcement calls us out for assistance. And then other can be anything from a deployment to a mutual aid standby or a helicopter standby that doesn't have necessarily a nearest class for the national reporting system. Overlapping incidents are down overall, but they're becoming more and more frequent, and we're hitting more spurts that are, instead of 2 overlapping, we're having 2 or 3 at a time overlapping. So this is just a breakdown of how many we've had overlapping so far this year, as well as a breakdown of which ones are weekday when we have our chiefs or other staff on duty, and then the nights and weekends when they're being answered from either us at home or we're having to call mutual and automatic aid in to handle those calls. Just a breakdown per shift, we have 3 shifts. They work 48 hours at a time with 96 off. This is just the division between the 3. A system alert is something that it activates something else. So a working fire is when there's actually flame, we're deploying hand lines, we're putting in extinguishment and other kind of services for fire suppression. Stroke alert is any kind of the brain or cerebral vascular accidents that people have. Trauma alert is an injury that's defined within our EMS system plan, and then the cardiac arrest is when somebody's heart stops, requires CPR. We've had a lot of working fires recently, if y'all follow our Facebook, in the last couple months, stemming from anything from lithium-ion batteries on chargers to, accidental discharge of smoking material. So trying to get out there with the prevention and community risk reduction efforts whenever those occur. One of those fires, actually it's not even on there yet, it'll be July 4th. One of them was in our district. The rest were all automatic aid to other agencies. So alarm handling time, so this is when you call 911 and you're speaking to a dispatcher. You can see a substantial decrease from last year, and we've been working with, I would say substantial, but we've had a decrease from last year. We've been working with the dispatch center, trying to get our times down here. And this is the only slide you'll see an average on. And the reason we're not doing averages is because you can tell the huge difference in what the 90th percentile in that average is. Averages is not taking out the data of us calling in the call and them starting the time for it, which is pretty much a 0 911 alarm handling time. So we use that 90th percentile, which is the Center of Public Safety Excellence standard. We don't, other than working with them and trying to stay on top of them, we don't really have a lot of control over this because that's all at the dispatch center level. The next ones is where we have operational changes that we can impact. These are also, most of them, there's some that's going up, and I'll get into why at the very end. And that just ties back into the overlapping incidents. But we have some that are also going down, and we've had some big improvements that we're working on. These variations are pretty minor and standard in operational variances. So there's not much other than just staying on top of crews to get out the door quicker that we're having to operate and change with. These are down from 2024 even more, and I should have put those in there, but we've implemented where we can check en route on the computer in the trucks now versus waiting for the radio to check us en route, which is a whole human step. So we've done a lot to get down to even where we are today. Travel time, can't go but so fast. Those trucks are heavy, traffic on the road, stoplights. Again, these operational variances, you see the rescue down at the bottom. And just kind of hit on that. We've actually experienced more water rescues this year that's required us to hook the boat up, launch the boat, and that's what delays that. That's why it's 2 minutes. Because we're traveling instead of to the incident and stopping, we're traveling to the boat ramp. We're undoing the boat. We're getting onto the water before we even actually make it to the incident. So that's why those are up. And you'll see that also in our total response time, our rescue times are also increased by about 2 minutes. So again, the total response time, 2 minutes and 7 seconds in the rescue percentile is the only variation that really is standing out. The fire response time, I found today there's some outliers that some of the calls on the GIS shape file actually picked up that were automatic aid. So we've got a couple that this should be a little less than a minute. But everything else is pretty much a standard operational variant. So like I said, our performance of the rescue incident and travel times have experienced the most notable increase just because we've had more this year. The winds have been kicking up. People have been getting over on the marsh and the islands in kayaks and can't make it back across. We've actually had 2 vessels that have, one capsized right there in the Queens Creek Inlet, and 5 people on a John boat while it was white capping. Just some choices that were made, but that's just increased our rescue calls this year. The other variations, like I said, are kind of normal operational variations. And then the travel time also reflects us coming home. We didn't want to remove that because we want to show that delay in where myself or Chief Stanley are coming back from the Hubert and the Bear Creek area after hours to answer the second and third call with that response, whether it's because the county's out on a different incident and can't respond, or it's just something that our units are prolonged on other incidents. So what we're doing and some changes that we are making, predetermined assignments and some run card development. Carteret is actually going to be the one that does this first, which is going to increase our call volume. They're going to pull us into the western portion a lot more than we are now. just based on trying to get personnel on scene, because nobody around here has the staffing levels to meet any kind of effective response force. So that's in the works now. We're trying to work with the county also to get that for the Northeast region. So that's kind of underway. Move up assignments. We've actually had a couple coverages. If you've noticed, like they had a big fire in Sneed's Ferry. We worked to get coverage down in that area while like the county and Hubert covered up here. Just whenever the county, we are one team, as we say on our Facebook post. We're just making sure all the communities are covered. So we're trying to work up some move up assignments to make sure that doesn't, there's no gap in service coverage. A navigable waterway plan, that is very recent. We're working with all of the agencies that are on the ICW, even the Marine Corps base. They're getting ready to start developing out a response plan to help improve how we find people who responds to water incidents, just to get to people a lot quicker. We've started EMS system partnership meetings. So every 2 weeks, myself, the emergency service director, and EMS director meet just so we can stay on top of the EMS issues or how we can improve that relationship. And then we've also started quarterly Northeast Onslow regional training, different topics between us, Onslow County Fire Rescue, Hubert, Piney Green, and Camp Lejeune. So we'll go to Camp Lejeune and Burn. Next quarter, we might go to Hubert and cut on a car. It just depends, and we've got that kind of mapped out. So a lot of stuff we're doing, building the team, building the partnerships, improving service and efficiency, and trying to maximize the service around the area. That's not me. Is there any questions?
Bill, if I can, Jacob, I was going to ask you that on that last slide there, the EMS system partnership meetings, or bluntly, do you feel like we're getting a lot out of that? Do you feel like there's some good discussions and processes as we move forward, plans?
Yes, sir. We've got so where all this data comes from is built straight out of CAD, and we've got an alert set up now that anytime it takes over 20 minutes for an ambulance to get there, it alerts me. I speak with the EMS director. We try to identify what the root cause was. Just if it's system strain, if it was the call just got put in pending or something, so that we can help eliminate those prolonged times. But it's very receptive. We've seen some changes since we've started doing this, so we're looking in the right direction.
It's great to hear. And just one other question is about the actual flame fires. Or would you say are we responding to more like outside of the town or in the town? Because obviously I want to make sure you guys get the credit you deserve when it's mutual aid and so forth, and we get the support that we currently get and continue to get that type of support.
We have a great fire prevention program in the town of Swansboro. So we've only had one this year, and that was actually the first fire since earlier in 2025. Most of our fires are in Hubert, Bear Creek, Belgrade, Swansboro Road, or Western Carteret. So we do go mutual and automatic aid quite frequently.
Thanks.
Okay, so appreciate everything you guys are doing, but obviously, concern that sticks out to me is the several minutes it takes for them to get the boat from here to the water. That's something I think we've got to somehow, some way, because you know that 2 minutes is life or death. I think we need to take a look at that, see what we can do to fix that coming up. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
You need us to help mitigate some of these alignments and stuff that you're doing? I know I'm going to bring up it's the F word, funding and everything else. But.
So specifically for the rescues, the easiest and most durable long-term solution is having the boat on a lift. Obviously, that comes with planning. We're kind of out of space. If you looked at it with Main Street Dock, just because of the riparian rights. But we can definitely look into something and bring it back to you. But that's the quickest for that one. Everything else is pretty minor, where we're adjusting with policies and training and working with the partnerships. So the only thing that really sticks out would be that one. Bring us back.
I just think it's a shame that we live on the water and we're having a hard time getting to the water. Get launched from the water, you know.
We had an incident at the Emerald Bridge, and if you take our 2 minutes and think about that, we were the second boat that pulled up simultaneously to the individual. So that's a big service for everybody. Nobody around here has one that I know of on the water itself. So that's a big shortfall.
So I'm kind of tying in with what Tim was saying. And this may be an elementary question, but who determines, how do you determine if the Coast Guard responds or we respond?
They come to everything.
Coast Guard
They're
goes to
supposed
everyone?
to. So we have built response plans. So when you call 911, they're looking at a computer screen. When they hit a call type, after all those million questions that they ask you, those are for a reason. It'll trigger the dispatcher to contact, and we've got it set up to do Coast Guard, and we have their direct number. So if they're not notified, we're notifying them. We get marine fisheries if they just happen to be on the water, and wildlife notified. And then whenever they put it out, I think the Coast Guard sometimes does it, it'll notify like CTO or Towboat US if they're in the area. But those are predetermined run cards. This plan right here we're building is going to take what we've already done, mapping out the waterway markers, and it's going to make those address points, and the response plan itself will incorporate a more robust and streamlined response. We're going to have one incident command post established where everybody goes to, with the exception of the boats that launch. It'll have quadrants that the boat will, like if it's Red Barn Road, for example, it'll be us, the county, and Camp Lejeune, Boat 7 will come from the installation, just so that we can find, because whenever you're calling from the waterway, you might be in the marsh on Bear Island, but you might be on the Emerald Isle side, and they've got you pinged over on the Camp Lejeune side. So it just takes us trying to triangulate, and it's getting a little bit better, but we predetermine those response cards and response plans.
And I can imagine if we're trying to get somewhere in a hurry, where would be the best place to locate, like to have our boat on a lift? If we were to look in Swansboro to put the boat on a lift somewhere, I know it's kind of spur of the moment question, so.
Somewhere we can drive straight to and park without having to
because
find.
you might have to fight downtown traffic to get to where.
Main Street, if we had rights, would be amazing, because you could just pull up to the dock and get on the boat.
Is that pretty easy to get to?
Mm-hmm. But we don't have, where is it, repairing
Mr.
rights?
Barlow, are there any restrictions to us adding a lift to that Main Street dock?
I think we
Since
don't have,
we have a
the
grant for
width.
that?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think we looked at that with the grant when they were going to redo it. We just can't expand to the side.
I know you got grant money for a boat. Now we got to find a boat lift.
Well, it comes with a trailer. We did spec it with a trailer so we can get it there. But just trying to identify somewhere that has one.
I can't imagine trying to use the ramp in Cedar Point.
We do the ramp at Cedar Point kind of in the evening. We go to Hammocks Beach because we don't have to fight as much traffic over there. And as soon as we launch, we can pull straight up near the shop and be out of the way. But Cedar Point is a madhouse anytime during the daytime. So.
And one last comment, I kind of touching on what Wayne was talking about. We do provide a lot of mutual aid because I feel like a stalker sometime. I watch y'all online a lot.
You are our top fan. I like it.
So, thank you for that and everything you guys do because they are all over the place helping everybody all the time.
Our association, just to put this in there, just launched the shirts today. If anybody's wanting one for the cancer
you're
awareness.
stealing my thunder. I was getting ready. That was my comment. They're selling T-shirts for the Firefighters Association.
Yeah, they're going to donate all the proceeds to UNC, which is where I went through my chemo treatment, and the KAL Foundation. So
great.
Check them out.
And they're neat T-shirts.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything for Chief? Thank you for everything you do. Okay, so now we're going to go to the public hearing part of the meeting about annexation of real property, and Elisa will give us a presentation on that, and we'll move into a public hearing on that.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. For your consideration tonight, we have the annexation of town-owned property that will serve as a future site for the Swansboro Emergency Operations Center and Public Safety Facility. As a background, the property was originally two separate parcels. Prior to the purchase by the town, those parcels were combined into a single tract. As a result, one property was mostly located in town limits, and the other was approximately half an acre that was in the ETJ, leaving exactly 0.54 acres of our now purchased parcel as ETJ. The board previously adopted Resolution 2026 R8 on July 14th, expressing support for this annexation. Tonight, we recommend proceeding by holding the required public hearing and consider adoption of ordinance 202607, annexing the remaining 0.54 acres of the property into the town of Swansboro limits. Any questions?
Okay, so no questions for Elisa, then I'd like to open up the public hearing, and no one signed up to speak during the public hearing, so then we'll close the public hearing. And we'll move to a motion, if it so suits anybody, to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2026-7. Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt.
Okay, have a motion to adopt. Is there a second? Okay, second. Any discussion on that? Okay, no discussion, so all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? So that carries, and we'll annex that in, I guess. And that's part of our new fire department property. Right.
And we do have a picture of the site up here, so you could see the small triangle that you'll be annexing.
And is that right next to the dog park?
Yes, it is.
Yep. So the public knows is where the Parks and Rec dog park is that vacant piece of property right there, right?
Yep. That triangle right there.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I guess that's...
Next, we'll have our future agenda item review. Upcoming for the 25th, we'll have the Zoe Powers presentation and our monthly financial report. We kind of have a light meeting next meeting, but we will also be adding a consideration for which John will cover in his manager's report. Did the board have any other items they'd like to see on the upcoming August 25th meeting?
Yes, I'd like to add to our next meeting to review eligibility requirements for Sam Bland applicants.
Sam Bland.
Okay.
I think also put in there some possible COLAs for a boat for our fire rescue with possible cost of with that of a boat, what do you call it? That is one.
A boat lift.
Boat lift, yeah.
Sam Bland.
Anybody else have anything?
At least two items. One, last Friday night, I had a great opportunity to talk to Mr. Danny Ferrucci from the Onzo United Transit System, and he said he usually comes once or twice a year to give us a brief. He's had a back issue, so he hasn't made it yet. I know he'd love to get on the schedule to do that. I mean, just listening to him talking about the program, 54,000 rides a year that they're providing residents for the county, to get to a doctor's appointment, restaurant, any kind of services they need. It seems like a really good program that we could help, further and get the word out on.
All right.
And the other item was just to build upon the discussion we had last time about our priorities and asking for those, those funds when we have a elected official visit. Like this Thursday, we've got Senator Budd visiting. If we need to codify that in a discussion, a motion, or a resolution, I just like to see us keep moving that ball forward.
Nothing's needed to do that. We may have to put out a special meeting notice since you may all be in attendance, but that's really all we'll probably need to do to handle that.
Thank you.
Also, in talking with Joe Ed a little bit, I know they should be reaching out to the town, but possibly could we reach out to them and have them go ahead? They should probably be beneficial if they would come and explain where they've been, where they're going, and they've got a new director now and new bylaws. So there's a lot going on with Joe Ed, and it's a new structure where our membership would require a monetary contribution. So if we could maybe reach out, the lady that's the director, her name is Melissa as well, and I cannot remember her last name, but it starts with an H. I can look it up.
We can look it up.
Okay, but Melissa Anderson would know for sure. I think the sooner they do that, the better, because they are trying to move forward with things. I don't
Okay.
know if it would benefit Swansboro or not, just something to have them do. That's all I have. Anybody else have anything? All right. Guess
All right.
that's it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. No items moved from consent, so we'll move to the public comment, the second section, which is up to 5 minutes for any item that does not have to be on the agenda for tonight. And so we have one person signed up for that public comment, and that's Amelia Dees Collette. But I don't see, oh, there you are. I didn't see you back there. And please state your name and address at the microphone. And please speak into it so we can hear you.
Good afternoon or evening. I'm Amelia Dees Collette. I live at 510 Broad Street. I also am the president of the 501c3 nonprofit, the Swansboro Historical Association, which oversees the Swansboro Area Heritage Center Museum in the town building that the town owns, the Emerton School Historic Building. Is that enough? I'm here. I don't think, and I'll be honest with you, I can't hear too well in this room, or maybe other places do now, but I don't think one of the things for future agenda items was the lease and a discussion of the Swansboro Historical Association being able to get back into the building and being able to function and have the museum up and running. It's something that we've been waiting for a long time. As you all know, previous town boards have been very supportive of this, and I got to thinking, well, you know, it looks like it's been a long time. 2017, I believe, 2016, 2017 was the first, I guess, town board that allowed us to be able to get into the building at a very good deal. Since then, we've had to deal with the roof that was leaking. We weren't in there. COVID-19, of course, Hurricane Florence, which came before that, and now 2 years of the restoration of the building, which, by the way, is a wonderful thing. It looks great. I don't know if you all have noticed the brickwork that's been done or the windows that have been repaired. I've been told that the painting has been completed in the building, the ceiling. So the main reason I'm here is just to make an appeal to the board and the town staff to not forget us. We've actually grown our Thursday morning coffee. We've had the historic homes tour for America 250. We participated in the Onslow County Museum exhibit and many more things. I looked out here, and my first thought in trying to come up with some brief notes to figure out what to say was how many of you on the board are members now and are supportive or have been supportive through coming to St. Thomas's and supporting the plaque, the marker for them, or coming to the homes tour. So I know the town's supportive, the town elected officials. I know I looked around in this group and I think everybody, well, not a lot of people here, but I think almost everybody in this that's here tonight is a member, and many of them long-standing members who helped get us where we are now in terms of that museum. So that's it. Please work with us. Let us get back in there. Larry Philpott, who is our treasurer, we're having to run down each other to be able to actually give checks and invoices. This afternoon, he said, can you all get back in yet? I said, no, I'm trying not, they told us not to go in. I'm waiting to hear when we can actually, go in there, even to just exchange checks and things like that. It's been kind of an inconvenience. So please work with us. I've had a good meeting with the town manager. We talked about the parts of the lease that the SHA board had requested. I'm hoping those are the things that will be in the lease when it comes up, which is very generous, and we appreciate that from past boards, and we hope we can have that same support in the future. So I told in an email yesterday to a lot of people that are active volunteers to please start coming and speaking out at these meetings. And I was hoping that maybe we could be on the agenda at least for a discussion on the 25th. So let me know if that's not going to happen, because I've already mentioned that in an email. So that's my appeal for tonight. But thank you for all you do, and I know you all support Historic Swansboro. Thank you.
Thank you, Amelia, and thank you for everything y'all do to try to preserve the history of Swansboro. So now we'll move to John Barlow, our town manager, for the manager's comments.
I do have just a couple of comments, updates to make you aware of. To Amelia's question about the lease with the Swansboro Historic Association, it is on your future agenda items. Yeah, so we are aware of, we're working on it. Amelia and I have met, the town attorney's got the document, so we'll be drafting a new one. Is it dead?
I could hear you, John.
We'll be working on updating the lease with them in the next coming weeks. I don't know if we'll get it to you on the 25th or not, but I'd like to get it behind us now that the renovation's nearly complete. That'll be the 18th or 19th, I believe, is the contract deadline for the last portion of the project, is to replace the doors on the Emerton School. So that'll quit. As Amelia said, it's turned out quite nice there. Just a couple other things. Elisa alluded also to this in her future agenda items, is we are working, last month the board directed staff to start contract negotiations with Withers Ravenel for the preparation of two grants, one state, one federal, Part F, and Land Water, LWCF, for some projects at Municipal Park. We received that draft yesterday, so we didn't have time to review it, make any comments, and get it back to them for any modifications that we might need to make. Just plan on seeing it at the 25th, your next board meeting in August. We want to have that in front of you. Time is getting of the essence. Application period closes for the Land and Water LWCF grant, the federal grant, in September. So we don't have a lot of time to make the grant application, prepare that for them. We have some time on the Part F grant. That's in spring, May is when that application period closes. But the information they want is all the same. So once we get the first one done, we'll just basically repeat it for to get the Withers Ravenel started on it. We need to get them a contract before they'll start working. So just be prepared to see that at your next board meeting. And last, just make you update you on the street paving project. The board entered into an agreement with Onzo Paving and Grading back in June to pave and patch a few streets here in town, mainly the Church Street will be resurfaced completely. There are a number of areas in Charleston Park. There's a lot of bad sections of pavement that need to be dug up, milled, new base put down, and patched. And we're also going to do quite a bit in Stillwater and Oyster Bay area. A lot of the pavement is really degraded there, so they'll do a lot of milling and patching in that area as well. So that'll be happening. We're looking at September the 8th. I think that's a Tuesday. So that week of September, we expect Onslow to start mobilizing here and get the paving project done. Probably take them 4 or 5 days to get that done. Do you have any questions for me or anything I didn't?
Any updates on
Ready.
the easements for the sidewalks?
Sidewalks?
Issues, wasn't there, if there's any update on the easements?
We need to acquire those 31 easements. That'll be our next step. And then obviously the biggest obstacle we have is the project budget of a little over $1 million if we wanted to do all 7,000 feet of the project. We have some funds set aside, as I think I brought the board up to date on that, about $300,000 we have that is in several different places, but is specific to sidewalk construction. So the board, if they want to, go out for some smaller projects once we acquire the easements in those project areas, or wait till we can get a funding and do it all at once.
John, for clarity, you mentioned the two Parks and Rec grants that we're going after and the deadlines. Did I hear you correctly that one of the deadlines, the first one is in September already? I'm sorry?
Did I say September?
Okay, so we've got some time. That's all I was wanting to see if we needed to meet sooner. No, understand. I thought I heard September. I apologize. That's what I figured.
I didn't see it. It's early November. Yeah, November is Part F, and May of 27 is LWCF.
No, fantastic.
November 2nd is LWCF, May is Part F.
Any questions or comments for John? Nope.
All
All right, thank you, John. So we'll move now to the board comments. Anybody in particular want to go first, or kind of mix it up a little bit tonight? If not, we'll start down with Tim, I guess, unless somebody would like to go first. So Tim, you're first.
Chief, Deputy Chief, appreciate the hard work you guys are doing, turning these young men and women into fine Americans. The other is that I see Tom here, one of our board members. I'd just like to throw a shout out to all our boards for their hard work and dedication that y'all do. It really helps us out, and appreciate all the hard work you do.
Usual thanks to the staff for continuing to coordinate these efforts and projects that we got moving along, and we keep inching the ball down the field. First downs are more important than touchdowns sometimes, but we're making progress every day. I would like to say this: the next 7 weeks, as everyone knows, that's lived down south here for a while, is the peak of hurricane season. So this is out to everybody that may be watching. If you don't have a plan, get one. Recommend you check in with a simple website like NOAA or National Hurricane Center. They got plenty of checklists for you to follow. Biggest thing is to our elderly citizens out there, make sure you got the supplies you need before the peak of the storm season hits. Things like O2 bottles and things like that. These now's the time to prepare, not when the flag goes up, you might say. And Lord willing, maybe we'll have a slow season this year. But the next 7 weeks are probably the most critical of the year. That's all I got.
Wayne? Yeah. Thanks, Bill. Hey, thanks to everybody who's here tonight, and thanks for everybody out there tuning in. As part of my duties being on the OWASA board, I just wanted to pass along something that we got last Friday. As many of you are aware, there's been some cyber attacks that have been going on around the country the last 1 to 2 weeks. They started off in Minnesota. They spread out to other smaller municipalities. It's made OWASA, through their own SOPs, take a good internal look on how they're doing business. And I just wanted to pass along some information that the CEO provided us last Friday. Members of the OWASA's information technology team, along with other key personnel, participated in a state and federal briefing concerning these incidents on July 29, 2026. OWASA uses a layered approach to protect its business and operational systems. These measures include restricted access to operational equipment, controlled vendor access, independent third-party penetration testing, ongoing system monitoring, staff training, and established emergency response and continuity procedures in case there was some interruption to services. The authority continues to actively monitor events around the state and the country, and obviously remains steadfastly dedicated to providing us safe and assured water authority services. So I want to assure the community that they're on top of this, they're keeping an eye on this, and we very much appreciate that, and I'll be happy to pass that information along to anyone who's interested. Lastly, I wanted to thank a big thank you to the staff. True team effort last Friday night at National Night Out. Saw the staff out there in force. It was great to see. I believe we had over 30 vendors. I think I was able to go around and say hi and thank you to about 15 or 16 of them. The one that I was thoroughly impressed with, all of them had great information, but the ladies from the library tent that night talked about the summer reading program and the hundreds of children that have participated in that program this summer. I just thought that was awesome. And they're so excited about the renovation and the additional spaces they're going to get. That's going to give them more capacity for programs and books and other items. So we're definitely on the right path down there, and we appreciate everything they do for us. Thank you.
We've got a great little library. We really do, in librarians. Tamara?
Thank you, staff, everything that you do. Thank you, citizens, for coming out tonight. I want to say thank you to the chiefs and Parks and Rec. They've got all ages of our children covered. Parks and Recs and the fire that put on Safety Town not too long ago, educate our little ones. That program, being from Garden College, doing a great job.
Yeah.
First off, thanks to everyone who was involved for setting up for National Night Out. You know, as Wayne indicated, I think it was a success, even though we had a few less vendors than we did last year. I think that was more so on the timing, you know, of the event. But it went very well. Talked to a lot of people, and a lot of young people were enjoying themselves, walking around, getting free things from all the vendors. August 13th, I think Bill and I have a Jumbo meeting. What they are, if you don't know, they initiate transportation issues for Onslow County. So Bill or I go to that, and there'll be another meeting on the 13th. If you don't know or haven't heard, once again, I'd like to say congratulations to Major Capers. He also, you know, we gave him a key to the town not too long ago, but been inducted to the U.S. Veterans Hall of Fame. Also received proclamations from the County Board of Commissioners, the Jacksonville City Council. And probably the biggest thing is, I'll go ahead and jump ahead of time. Happy birthday, Major Capers, on the 25th, 89 years old. If you've never met the guy, please try to get a chance to. Wonderful man. Congratulations, they're gone. Again, to the cadets, I had the honor of speaking at their graduation ceremony, and I was impressed. I'm a person who, I don't want to say had bad things to say about young people, but I had my doubts. But watching them, I got my confidence back again. So I hope a lot of the other young people, especially in our community, follow the same initiative, maybe not the same program, but at least try to be active within their community. One last thing is, for those you don't know, August 24th at 6 o'clock at Hamish Peak State Park, Historic Restoration Rehabilitation. That's being presented by the North Carolina State Preservation Office. So it's open to everybody, from my understanding.
But seating's limited, though, isn't it?
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Yep. So again, starting out on that side of the room over there, thanks to everybody over there. I'm not going to go through each department. You know who you are. Those are the true heroes of this town that run this town and take care of it for you guys. So they're the ones that do everything. Got a few things to talk about. I don't know if anything will ever come out of it, but I'm trying to beat the bushes for grant money at the federal level. It's really hard to get because you have to compete at the national level, and there's a lot of people trying to get that money. And I've been talking with Blake Belch with Ted Budd's office, and I don't know if they've done it yet or not, but he was going to get Senator Budd to write letters of support for any grants that we may want to pursue. I don't know if we've gotten any of those. I don't think we've gotten any of those letters. Not yet. Okay. So Blake's getting ready to move on to another position, so I need to get with him. Also met with Tom Tillis's aide, just a general discussion, just to express concerns of what our infrastructure needs are in this town and all. As Jeff was saying, Major Capers just got inducted to the Veterans Hall of Fame. It's only been around for 9 years, and a homeless veteran is the one that started this, and he went to Congress and got the thing funded and up and running, and they present it to deserving members every year. And it was a really, Jimmy was at the function. It was a really moving and touching and really good ceremony. It was you really felt lucky to be there. Won't touch about the Jumpo meeting because Jeff's already talked about that. Habitat for Humanity is having a function the 14th, and you can go to Ed Benet's Facebook page if you're interested. Some type of fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity. National Night Out. We talked about T-shirts. Don't forget T-shirts for Jacob over there, the Firefighters Association. I saw those online today. They're pretty neat looking T-shirts. Thursday, I'm meeting with all the area principals just to get ready for the school year. So if you have any concerns with the schools coming up within the next couple of days, feel free to give me a call or email me and let me know, because I will be meeting with all the principals just to get their concerns and their thoughts on the upcoming school year. And in the consent items tonight, we agreed on one thing, and that was an ANWASA letter of support. And Wayne can probably tell us more about what that letter is for, but it's to back and give support to ANWASA to try to harden and improve our infrastructure as it comes towards Swansboro, basically in a nutshell. Does that pretty much sum it up, you think?
That is correct, Bill. There's 3 initiatives, just real quickly. One's a new initiative, which is pursuing federal assistance with the Marine Corps and partnering for a new wastewater treatment plant off of Parkertown Road.
Like $100 million.
$100 million, that's correct. And then the other 2 are just for more resiliency and capacity, one that it would impact the Swansboro area, and then one that would impact Sneads Ferry and Holly Ridge, and working with the base and partnering for those endeavors.
Thank you. And Jeff, you had one more thing?
But on August 17th, between 11:30 and 3 o'clock at Marine Federal Credit Union parking lot, there's going to be a mobile vet center there. And for those of you who don't know, they offer counseling, help with referrals to any part of the VA's system, whether it be applying for benefits, finding a job. But they go around all over the state. But the one truck that we have, basically Onslow County. So, you know, a veteran that's having any kind of problems, if you're a veteran and you're having any kind of problem, even if you just need to talk to somebody, these people are great. Like I said, August 17th, 11:30 to 3, Green Federal Credit Union parking lot.
All right, so that's pretty much, I got one last thing. So do you know that we had military exercises going on in Swansboro the last few days? Did you see very many of them? I didn't either, because they were all like civilian dressed. It was like a kind of a covert type thing. But we met with some of the officials, and they were very thankful and appreciative of the town to allow them to use our town to train. I think it was 6 different countries from the NATO alliance, and so it was really nice to be a part of that. So with that being said, unless anybody else has anything else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
A second?
Second.
I know there's no discussion on that, I wouldn't think. Is there? All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So we're adjourned. Thank y'all for coming out tonight. It's good to see y'all.